Zach, do you want me to do the bit about movie parodies or the bit about the new Little Mermaid? Actually, you know what? I'm gonna
Wait.
save I'm
What?
gonna
I
save the new
loved the
Little
one to
Mermaid
five.
bit for the second channel.
This one. Uh, I loved the 1 to 5 scale one.
Oh my god. We'll come back to that. Zach, what's your favorite movie parody?
My favorite movie parody.
Parody's nuts! Welcome to the show! Hello,
I love it.
everybody! Welcome. We have a new nerd poll live.
We do. It's in the description. You should check it out. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say probably the Naked Gun films. They're really good. They're really good, and they feature a famous football player.
You think YouTube gets mad about the phrase parody's nuts?
We're gonna find it. Actually, maybe we won't find out.
Yeah, we do have this interesting sort of power over each other where we can just tank a recording at any point.
Yep, yeah, I can just start swearing right out the gate, and like this becomes a Patreon bonus feature.
Zach, I have a new format for you. If you like this kind of thing, if you like usually we have the formula where we start with bits. Sometimes you subvert that formula by hitting your co-host with a D's nuts joke. If you like this kind of thing, you can subscribe. You should also like the video, because if you don't, YouTube sends their hit people out after us. So you really gotta do that.
I did dodge 6 hitmen on my way to work last afternoon.
They told me if this video has less or more than 69 likes, they're coming for me. I would also like to note that you can join our Patreon if you want to. You get your name in the background, like these people back here. Yeah. Woohoo! All right.
You don't have any names that do we? We're up to date.
No, yes, we are. We are up to date with these as far as I'm aware, and if we aren't, we'll learn about it.
Yeah, we'll learn very soon that we're not up to date if we're not.
Zach, I got a new format for you today that I think you're gonna
Brand
enjoy.
new format. I'm
Yes.
excited.
It's a new format. I don't know if it's gonna work, but I like it. I think it's fun. Zach, I have a list of quotes and statements about A Song of Ice and Fire.
This doesn't sound like a new format.
And they are connected thematically in some way.
Interesting.
And I'm gonna feed them to you one by one, and we're just gonna talk. We're gonna talk our way through them. We can talk for as long or as short as you like, but you get one guess per clue. Okay?
Interesting. Okay, I'm on board.
Yep. And we're just gonna. This is just gonna be fun, right? And then. All of these things are connected, and then after you figure it out, we can talk about more ways that they are connected.
Okay.
Zach, are you ready?
Yeah, absolutely.
I have clicked. You ready? Oberyn Martell is the I'm sorry. Ellaria Sand is the paramour of Oberyn Martell.
That's true.
There you go. Let's talk about it.
So this could be about relationships in the Song of Ice and Fire, because they have a really interesting one. Because they are not married at all.
They're not.
And that's marriage is a pretty important thing politically in Song of Ice and Fire, and you're supposed to be a good spouse in the abstract. They let people get away with a lot of children out of wedlock. Well, okay, they let men get away with a lot of children out of wedlock, and there are some people who get away with being horrible spouses. But it is something that you're supposed to people love Ned and Kat so much because they actually treat each other with respect, and that's one of the better relationships you see in the novel.
Yeah, they have a halfway decent relationship that isn't just horribly that isn't either borderline abusive or abusive.
Yes, which describes most relationships. Well, maybe not most, but like a lot of the ones we see close up in A Song of Ice and Fire, we can say like guaranteed. I like that, and they're also the source of many of the like hugest political issues in A Song of Ice and Fire. Some of the like most like about to explode families have really unhappy marriages in them. A lot of bastard children.
A lot of bastards.
A lot of
A lot of
bastards.
bastards.
And that obviously in a feudal system would cause strains and would cause problems when family is the means of governance. If you have a poorly constructed family, you have a poorly constructed government.
What a like poetic sentence that was.
Oh, thank you.
That was very nice. I liked that.
So she is indeed the paramour of Oberyn Martell, and
For
also
sure.
the mother of 4 of his 8 daughters, right?
Yeah, the mother of 4 of the Sand Snakes. The 4 youngest Sand Snakes? Question
Yes,
mark.
the 4 youngest Sand Snakes, correct? Because he had a lot of lovers in his life until he met her. I believe is the understanding, and it's not that he doesn't engage in relations with other people, because he certainly really implies that he does a couple times. But I think it's mostly with her, and that seems to be how he likes it. They're genuinely really tight, close, and seemingly romantic with each other.
Yeah, and like it does seem to be the case that Oberyn and Ellaria are like are each other's only like serious relationship. You know what I mean?
Yes. Anything else is like a fling that they're cool with, and usually, if they can invite the other one along, they do. Is my understanding. Or I'm struggling to remember exactly if it's phrased in the books, but in the show, they pretty much explicitly state like, "Hey, we're not exclusive to each other, but sometimes we bring some other people in on the fun." Sort of thing.
Oh yes, yes, like one of my favorite scenes in Game of Thrones,
Yes.
where it's the 2 of them hanging out in a brothel.
Yeah. It's a great scene.
Oh my god. Man, you remember when that show was good?
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
you want to take a guess, or you want to talk some more about Ellaria Sand?
That's a good question. I'm gonna take a guess that the theme here is relationships.
You're not too far off, but no.
Okay.
No, you're barking up some correct trees, but no. Uh, I'm gonna give you another one.
All right.
At the end of season 1, episode 7 of House of the Dragon. Spoilers. Laenor Velaryon escapes.
Interesting.
Just making sure that this is still on the screen. Yeah, you can go up there. Boop. One of my all-time favorite changes from the show, from the book, rather. I lost my mind when this happened. Like I went full like existential difference mode at the end of that episode. We're in a different timeline now.
Yes.
This is a new place. Because in the book, Laenor is dead. Unambiguously, Laenor is dead at the end of by the time the Dance of the Dragon starts, Laenor Velaryon is dead.
And by all knowledge that anybody possesses,
Yes.
and there are multiple instances where they tell like folklore-ish stories of this person actually secretly lived and Laenor is not one of them.
Yes, it
Like,
is. It is never suggested or implied that he made it through.
yeah, and there are plenty of other people, like from way before the dance to during the dance to after the dance, who are supposedly still alive out there.
Yeah, I think about Daeron. A lot of people
Yeah.
claimed to be Daeron.
Yeah.
Uh, 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 and like,
Um, Lucius, Luke, people claim to be him. I'm pretty sure, Lucerys rather. But
man, can we call him Lucius from now
I said the actual name instead of the George R. R. Martin you want to do this sometimes. It's why I
on?
always called Daenerys Danny, because I would probably say like Danny Eris or something.
Danny
Uh,
Aris.
uh, Kelly C. Uh,
Kelly C. Danny Aris are my favorite. Is my favorite line of caps from The Shining.
I was about to say those are my two favorite hosts of Game Grumps.
Yeah, yeah, yes, yeah. Okay. Uh, and I have speculated at length that Laenor will return. This is one
I
of my
agree.
favorite. Oh my god, that might be my like personal favorite theory on the channel.
It's a good one, and I do believe it's true.
Yeah, there's
And
we got some variants, right? We got some variants in
yeah,
in what we think of as our best theory. I think that the red door is probably the best all round because like I'm pretty sure it's just true. I'm pretty sure you just saw through the Matrix. The Branos is probably my favorite to talk about. Because it just like gets my mind working in this crazy ass 5D chess kind of way. But I think like Laenor, my boy, my rider of sea smoke, fucking Westerosi soldier cowboy. I love this man. And
yes,
he's still alive, and his kid is dead, and he's gonna send some motherfuckers to the Shadow Realm. I'm sorry, I didn't mean for this to turn into a rant about Laenor
no.
Velaryon.
I'm thinking now. So in there's a reason for this in the show, because it's good for everybody,
Yeah,
except for like Westerosi like politics, you could argue. But Laenor has no interest in having kids because he's not interested in that whole having sex with women thing, which totally fair. Born that way. He doesn't have to, except for a feudalistic system that really wants him to, and he doesn't want to, be straight and participate in feudalism. He wants to be gay and do crime. The crime here is
yeah.
war profiteering. Uh, and good for him.
Put it in the
So,
quotes folder. Hell yeah.
uh, and good for him. So we're happy to see him do that, and he's happy to get out of a like basically a facade of a life he's living, and it allows um, Rhaenyra to marry Daemon, which is more her preference anyways, and also builds a strong like claim of legitimacy to the throne.
This is a great opportunity for me to like give a little bit of exposure to our streams. Uh, I did do a Rhaenyra parody of "I Beg Your Pardon" on the stream the other day. If you're not checking out the streams, you really should.
Yeah,
They're really
please do.
fun.
So it's not about relationships. This is interesting. I don't know what the connective tissue is here, because I mean, I suppose they're both outside, like the kind of relationship you're supposed to like pursue in the public light in Westeros is very specific. It
Very true.
is very traditional. It is a traditional singular marriage between one man and one woman at a wedding with vows to belong to each other, with a really weird ceremony where a bunch of people rip your clothes off and throw you into a bed.
Yeah, and it's weird that that's normal because
Yeah.
like that's what I want to be doing.
Like,
Preferably not with my entire extended family there, but still.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's a very
I've definitely,
Targaryen thing to do.
I've definitely ended up in the end state of that. Where
What? Whoa!
No.
Excuse me?
I've definitely ended up in the part where I'm naked in a bed with someone, but my my mom and dad didn't escort me there. Is what I was saying.
Oh, okay, all right, fine.
My aunt and uncles were not privy to this information. None of my cousins were like cheering me on.
Laughs in Cersei.
So Cersei got the order mixed up. Her brother's not supposed to be in the.
Yeah. Okay, all right. I hate this.
Cersei like put the IKEA furniture together and wondered why she still had three parts that like were just like hanging out. Like, oh, I skipped a whole page.
Oh, that was what it was supposed to look like.
Oh, Jamie, I'm sorry.
Oh shit, Jamie, we put it in backwards.
Terrible. Oh, great.
Get the screwdriver. And if these jokes are landing for you, in the comments below, tell us your favorite joke in this vein.
The good news is the jokes are landing for us.
Yeah.
And that's what matters the most.
That's what matters. Honestly, fuck all the rest of you.
Remember to support us on Patreon.
I've decided to become a bad boy YouTuber.
Bad boy YouTuber. Yeah.
I've decided
like,
to
you're
just,
like you're the heel of this channel. I'm like, hey everybody, we really appreciate your support. And Tom's like, no, we don't appreciate your support. Actually,
we are actively trying to get you to stop watching. Zach's racing for 2,000 subscribers, and I'm racing for 0 subscribers.
Don't say that. You might encourage some people. The meme.
And the one that you want to win, you can cast your vote below by clicking that subscribe button. You'll note that it might say subscribe or subscribed.
If it says subscribed, you don't need to click it. You can click the bell instead. If you haven't already clicked the bell, you're good.
That's how we'll know.
If you've already clicked the like button and the bell and subscribe, you can type a comment.
Zach, would you like to take a guess, or do you want to keep talking about Laenor Velaryon?
I think my guess is it's about I don't want to. I guess I would say like sexuality / romantic preferences.
Zach, you won the game. This is the gay episode. Happy Pride.
Woo! It's the gay episode. You're right. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
What other quotes do you have?
Oh, I got plenty. You want to see if you can get one?
Yeah. There's got to be a Renly thing in here, right?
Absolutely. Renly Baratheon is very close with Loras Tyrell.
That's one way to put it. Like, physically?
Yeah. Keep it going. What else you got back there? I like
see.
Renly. He got done dirty in the.
He did.
Honestly, he got done dirty. He got done dirty in the books.
You get a little bit more time to like understand him and also why he would never win in the books.
But
in the show,
you know what? We only get that in book 4 from Loras, or the end of book 3 rather, from Loras.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
but in the show, I liked that in the show we actually got Renly and Loras as characters,
yeah.
and also dick sucking.
Yeah. Uh, what else is who do you have a Blackfish thing in here?
Absolutely, I do. Brynden Tully. Brynden Tully was in conflict with his brother Hoster for most of his adult life.
And we're not quite sure, but there's a lot of sexuality speculated reasons. He
Yeah.
could be gay, he could be ace, he could be any number of things. And I've heard some other speculation that he just really didn't like the woman he was supposed to be married to. He might have been like even straight or bi or something like that. And he's like, no, I'm not interested in marriage. It's not going to make me happy. So screw it. And those are all valid interpretations.
We've
Although
also
I like
speculated.
Ace one the most.
We've also speculated that he's the father of Euron Greyjoy.
We have. I forgot about. I honestly forget about some of our theories sometimes.
Did you
Somebody
forget
should
about
grill us-
that one?
Someone should grill us on all of our theories, like when we have like a dozen, 2 dozen more. We'll just bring somebody on to like intersplice our theories with ones they just completely made up and ask if we've like promoted that theory before. I'm gonna be honest. We're not getting a perfect score.
hey, no, Zach. If Brannos is true, every other theory is true.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that we were the person who first said it.
Yeah, but it does mean we will have been demonstrated to be correct 100% of the time. That's right, even the giant robots.
Yeah, even the giant robots.
Especially the giant robots.
Well, that one's just true.
Yeah.
That's why the last 2 books are taking so long. George is like, did I set up the giant robots enough?
Yeah, that's why the last 2 books are taking so long. George is building them.
Yes.
That's-
He's tired of getting the sizes and scale of things wrong. Like he's upset looking back at the wall. He's like, that's way too tall. So he wants to see how big a giant robot can sustainably be, so he can write the exact height.
that's what his 1991 word processor is for.
Yes.
Hey, I got a question. The
Go for
Transformers,
it.
right? The Transformers always look like futuristic technology. Have there ever been
Yeah.
any Transformers that look like Apple IIs?
There's been Transformers that were dinosaurs.
Yeah, but I want them to look like. I want them to look like true. I want them to look like 1950s aesthetic technology.
You want retrofuturism
Yeah.
Transformers. I guess there's Liberty Prime from Fallout, but like that's the only one I can
Yeah,
think of.
exactly, right. Fallout has that, like, there is, like, high technology in Fallout in some cases. Like the Siths.
I'm actually I've been talking about it a lot because a couple friends of mine are gonna like play a Fallout tabletop, and then there's like stuff that's like straight up cyberpunk. Although this gets like more and more like put into the game the like further into Bethesda's like writing we get. And there's other stuff that's like super anachronistic at the same time. While these people are like driving cars that go on the road while they have like fully synthesized humans, it's like we would have like it's kind of boggling that like they're still using these really antiquated like pieces of technology. I mean, granted, we still have cars now, obviously, but like we're nowhere close to just making humans out of a vat of goop. And by the time we're there, we'll probably have like way faster forms of transportation.
Well, they have way faster forms of transportation, right? In by the events of Fallout 4, there is efficient air travel and goddamn teleportation.
The problem with the Institute is they make no sense. But we don't talk about Fallout on this channel. We should do a Fallout rant on the other channel.
I love Fallout so much. Fallout 4 got so much hate, and it's great.
I have problems with it, but I don't like hate it.
Me
I have
too.
problems with it. Actually, I have problems with every Fallout game, including the one that I like love and gush about all the time. There's still some problems. Me and my roommates like stayed up till 3 a.m. one night just talking about the problems with every Fallout game. That's what
I
makes
had
it
this
interesting.
I had this argument with Zeb while sitting in a Texas Red Hots. The problem with Fallout 4 is it's not Fallout New Vegas.
And
And the
yes,
problem is Fallout New Vegas is the best game ever made.
my one roommate said Fallout New Vegas realized that when they went into production, I guess you'll learn more about this on the other channel because you probably cut this off after here. They
I'm having
realized the only
fun.
thing they could accomplish with the amount of production time they had was to use the exact same engine with Fallout 3 with minimal changes and just improve the writing as much as possible because that's something you can do on tight time constraints.
And it turns out that was a
And
great plan.
yeah, it turns out you don't need the greatest video game engine of all time. You just need a good enough engine and a really compelling story. For anybody out there who wants to make video games, if there's one lesson you're going to take away about game design from an unrelated podcast about A Song of Ice and Fire, if you can call this a podcast, I still don't know if that counts. An unrelated video series on YouTube by two people who do not design AAA titles on. I mean, I guess we do design games, but we don't design AAA titles on YouTube. It's have a good enough engine with a better story.
Yeah, like some of the most fun games I have ever played have been text adventure, shitty 8-bit graphics. Some of the best tabletop games I've ever played have been scrawled on the back of index cards. If you have if you have a story or mechanics that are compelling, people will love your game.
Yep.
Fallout 4 added too much spice to the sauce. You don't need to do that. You don't need to have a home crafting system. Okay, you don't need to have a building system. It's fine.
You don't need to have 8 different places you can make into a village that all feel the same.
Not that it's not that it wasn't fun. I would like those were just some of the major side quests, and while I was doing that, I was like, I mean, I kind of like I want to go back to the synth storyline.
Yeah, you wrote a compelling storyline, one that kind of contradicts a lot of lore, but it's still compelling.
That's fine. Who cares?
We're saving the rest of this for the other channel.
All right.
Do we have anything else we want to talk about? A Song of Ice and Fire related?
Oh my god, yeah, I got plenty more. Give me another one.
Who else is gay?
That's a good sentence.
Oh, Jon and Satin.
Oh, you're damn right. Hang on. Quote. This one's an actual quote. Satin, they called him. Even in the wool and mail and boiled leather of the Night's, I'm going to capitalize that, of the Night's Watch. The name he'd gotten in the brothel where he'd been born and raised. He was as pretty as a girl, with his dark eyes, soft skin, and raven's ringlets. Man, so I go back and forth on the Jon and Satin train, okay?
Yeah.
I don't think that it is terribly well supported. But then you get passages like this.
Yeah.
where Jon's just like, he's pretty as a girl with his dark eyes and soft skin and raven's ringlets. His what? His his dark hair.
Jon Snow is a confirmed femboy enthusiast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's no other interpretation of this passage.
Femboy enjoyer. Then it goes on. This was the half that I was gonna give you if we hadn't gotten the connection yet. Half a year at Castle Black had toughened up Satin's hands, however, and Noy said he was passable with a crossbow. Whether he had the courage to face what was coming, though. ... And this is in the preparation for the battle at the Wall. Very good, right? Excellent.
Yeah,
Great writing. Might be that Jon is interested in him. Might be that Jon's bi. Might be that Jon's pan. Might be that Satin's just pretty. Kind of hard to
yeah,
tell.
yeah. You can look at a person and think, wow, they're like conventionally attractive by some means, without necessarily yourself wanting to do anything with them.
Right. I
Uh,
can look at a person that I am not attracted to and say, "God damn, you look
I,
great."
no, legit. The other night, I watched somebody that I work with give like a real like impassioned like talk, and I'm like, man, I wish I was like. I hope like when I'm his age, I'm that like hot and passionate about things. I hope like presumably like only slightly more than 10 years from now, I still look that good and can get that fired up about things. Was my exact thought to myself. I didn't tell him this.
And I imagine you said all that while biting your lower lip. Zach, this really does read like it's out of like a YA romance novel.
It does. It has a lot of young adult romance sort of writing to it. It's have you ever written romance before?
Um, uh, Kinda.
I've like definitively that's one of my most successful SCPs. But uh, the way you write it is so different from any other type of fiction I've ever written because it's so you have to hit people in a very specific part of their brain, and this reads that way. Even though this quote has boiled leather in it, which is one of the least sexy things I can think of, it hits me in that same part of the brain that like a romance story does.
Zach, we have different feelings on leather.
I just don't want to boil it. There's room for it, but I don't like when I think of boiled leather. I think of like what it must smell like when you're in the process of boiling it.
Sure, sure. Uh, I do want to point out that there are popular theories that Satin may, in fact, actually just be a girl. Uh,
Ooh, which
yes.
is a classic fantasy trope. Also, is the girl who disguises herself as boy. Actually, Arya does this, so
Yep.
it wouldn't be the first.
Arya does this. If true, it will have been lampshaded by the story of Danny Flint, who dressed as a boy and joined the Night's Watch. Um, uh, uh, I certainly hope that that isn't where the story is going. But it could be. In fact, like the if true, I wouldn't be surprised if we got a Satin POV chapter.
Ooh,
But that similarly, I don't think is all that well supported in the text. But it isn't unreasonable to suppose. Zach, you got any others? I got a good one for you. You want one?
go for it.
Uh, Quote, called the Dragonless, Vagon was given to the Citadel. From an early age, he held the ring and rod and mask of yellow gold when he became an Archmaester. There you go.
Huh?
Vagon's ace. Fight me.
Yeah,
Fucking fight me in the comments. Vagon's ace.
yeah. I don't.
Vagon is your ace representation. Jaehaerys, and of course we only get this from the perspective of Jaehaerys and Jaehaerys' maester. Jaehaerys considered him a failure because no matter how many times he poked him, like, hey, you gotta get married. Hey, Vagon, you gotta get married. He was just like, fuck off, I'm reading. He was kind of just like, fuck off. And then he went to the Citadel. And then he became a major political player in his own right. Vagon's ace, fight me. I love Vagon. I love the
Yeah,
idea of Vagon. Vagon was the one who organized the Great Council of 101.
Interesting.
Yeah. So if you accept the idea that the Maesters somehow influenced the vote, he is the one who held the chips. Yeah. Yeah. How's that?
That's quite interesting.
Yeah. You got any more? I got a couple more in here.
Go for it.
How about my favorite, Zach? How about like perhaps one of my favorite characters in the series? Quote, I suppose that means I'll have to take the throne. But I'd much rather be teaching you to fiddle. John the Fiddler to Dunk.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
our beloved antagonist of a Dunk and Egg novel.
Yeah, the extremely poorly informed and poorly advised Daemon Targaryen.
Daemon Blackfire II, but yeah.
Oh yeah. Sure. Yes. I love him. I think he's great. I think he's got such swagger.
He has a lot of swag. He flirts with Dunk, who is incapable of realizing he's being flirted with, which is highly relatable content.
Yes, and that's one of the reasons that I love Dunk so much, is that he's just oblivious to many things.
He has such like a different. That's the like wonderful thing about him, is such a different perspective from all these highborn people. Having lived, a very like common folky life, just as a hedge knight. So when like some highborn person comes up and makes some like suggestive flirty remarks, he's just like, huh, my father? I don't know. He might have been tall. I never met him.
Right. So like he is not the only naive character in A Song of Ice and Fire. Sansa's naivete, though, like, in retrospect, when you're reading it, it has this sort of, like, horrifying inevitability that she is going to be brutally punished for being as naive as she is. But Dunk's naivete just, it makes him blush, and then he gets to hit things. I love him. I love Dunk. I love Dunk and Egg.
They're great, yeah.
Zach, I would be remiss not to mention, Cersei has a brief, would you say tryst? Is that how you spell that word?
Tryst? Yeah.
With
Tryst.
Taina Merryweather?
Yes. Which is not super great.
It's really not. And if you want to be generous, you could say that is experimental. And if you want to be realistic, it's a power thing, right? It's not.
Yeah.
It is not healthy, and I don't think it belongs on this list. But we'll put it for completeness. We'll put it there, right?
Cersei's sexuality is just like problematic in general.
Yes.
There's no amount. I mean, like, she calls herself Tywin with tits, which unfortunately is largely accurate in the way that she views sex, power, relationship dynamics. She inherited pretty much every toxic quality from her father without any of the intellect or political brilliance, with like some quotation marks.
Yeah, like she absorbed all of the worst traits of Tywin and Robert with none of the good traits.
Yep, because like there are plenty of terrible things you can say about Tywin and Robert, but you'd have to at certain points acknowledge like they were capable leaders to some capacity.
Yeah,
Robert less so as he got older and drunker. But like, there's a reason like he was able to lead men into battle successfully during the rebellion. It's because he, and also successfully like put people in the right spots to crush the Greyjoy Rebellion.
Yeah.
Something that Cersei is incapable of doing
Yeah.
right now under basically the same circumstances.
Here's an undersung aspect of Robert Baratheon. Robert was good at making friends. Right? He had faults, but he was able to cover his faults with battle commanders like Ned Stark and like Jon Arryn. And like Tywin Lannister after a fashion.
And his brothers were super effective in the military.
Absolutely. He was able to effectively employ Stannis Baratheon.
Yeah. To the point where he beat Victarion naively.
Yeah. And Cersei is really bad at making friends.
Yeah, and when she does make friends, she can't see the obvious fact that they are going to betray her.
Yeah.
Now, you can say, wait, hold on a second. Robert was like, had Varys and Littlefinger on his council. And yeah, that's true. And they were doing some transparently corrupt things. However, they did also do their jobs for the most part. It's not like they were like... Cersei has the problem of she has people who... Robert had a bunch of people on his council who had ulterior motives. Other people have put councils together full of incompetent morons, basically. Cersei has incompetent morons with ulterior motives on her council. And the only smart person stole a bunch of boats and became a pirate king.
Yeah. Which was awesome.
Yeah.
Who else we got in here? Oh, I would be remiss if I did not mention Danny has a brief tryst with Irri. This is much less unhealthy, I would say.
Yeah.
It's still not, like it's this is much more like a curious sort of thing. Like the last time I read through it, the first, like, the thought in my mind was the meme that was passed around some years ago. It's not gay for bros to jack off bros. Just bros helping each other out. We're not making eye contact.
Yeah, What's the it's a Family Guy joke. I can't believe I'm quoting a Family Guy joke. Where Peter finds out the correct amount of eye contact you can make with another band member while playing a song before it becomes gay. They get married at the end. It's a banger of a joke.
Slaps ass, no homo. You could make the argument, and I find it a compelling argument, that this is Daenerys being like a little bi-curious, and I think that that's fun.
Yeah.
A lot of people use this as evidence for a Daenerys Sansa ending.
Interesting.
And I think that is also very fun.
That's great. They could have an entire book that I read instantly because I skip all the chapters.
Wow. What an appendix. Someone in chat the other day was like, y'all are too hard on the Sansa chapters. Some of them are awesome. And my response is no. One of them is awesome. The rest are nothing.
There's some good scenes in a few of them. But yeah.
Are you talking about the Lysa Arryn sex scene?
Oh yeah, that's my favorite, obviously.
Pattaya. All right, and finally,
that's the second best scene of Peter Baelish thrusting Lysa Arryn in the books.
Oh no. And finally, Zach. Alyssa Farman rocks.
Alyssa Farman's great. What a great character.
Alyssa Farman rocks. She's awesome.
It's kind of a bummer we didn't get a whole book about her voyages. Granted, I understand that might spoil things about the main series. but I would love to know what happened to her character. In fact, I made a whole theory about it, where I think that she found the Fountain of Youth.
Yeah, exactly. We don't need to work. We have a whole book about what she's up to. She's Quaithe.
That's also a good one. True. We've never done a Who is Quaithe video.
We
Which is kinda
haven't. There's not that many options. Do you want to do a Who is Quaithe duel?
We could do a Who is Quaithe duel, yeah.
Oh my god, that sounds fun.
I would love to do a Who is Quaithe.
I'm gonna need to dig pretty deep to find something new, but I'll get something.
Okay. We're both gonna come out with new Quaithe takes. New Who is Quaithe just dropped. That'll be a theory duel we do in the near future.
Sierra Seastar been real quiet.
Since the Quaithe theory dropped. Old Nan and Quaithe. Actually, I guess she could.
Yeah, why can't she? Can I please have someone in the comments run the numbers on that? In the same way that we run the numbers on Euron equals Dario, technically speaking, he has barely enough time to change his clothes, hit the ship, and get to the other side of the world to make all the chapters work.
Assuming he doesn't have some extra magic. But yeah, it does work. What chapters does Old Nan appear in? Hold on. Many of them.
I'm sure that I missed some. And if I did, put them in the comments. I'm sure I missed some. I threw this together in like half an hour because I thought it would sound fun. Zach, this series kind of gay.
This series is kind of gay.
This series kind of gay.
Happy Pride, everybody.
Happy Pride, everybody. Subscribe if you feel like, and if you like this kind of unhinged riffing, come back for more. Zach, say goodbye.
Goodbye.